What's good, Panther Nation? It's your boy Myron McRae, a.k.a. Tornado McRae, across the skies of the internet, here with another episode of Panther Pride TV. Your one-stop shop for all your Panther notifications and your Panther obligations. Happy Thursday to all of you. Hey, it is one day before the weekend for everybody getting their day off or whatever the case may be. So hopefully, you are going to have a smooth day today, and I'm wishing that upon you, man. And we have a few things on today's docket, just something to get y'all to go into the weekend and whatnot. And I want y'all to really just look into this. So the first things first, as I discussed yesterday and as it dropped yesterday, the newest episode of The Blueprint officially dropped on the Carolina Panthers YouTube last night. Highly recommend y'all go watch it. It was a great little insight. And the thing that I loved about this episode was it highlighted the front office meetings of how they address the team's needs this offseason. And what I mean by that is, when I was looking at each segment in the video, one, everybody and their mama in that front office meeting, from Brent Tillis, Dan Morgan, Dave Canales, Aviro, even the passing game coach, the defensive pass game coach, and the defensive line coach and everything, everybody put an emphasis on stopping the run. And considering the way our rush defense has been the past 2 years, I love that everybody bought in. Everybody's like, yo, that's what we need to do. That's what we have to do. And we need to find people to help us stop the run. That is our biggest, threat. And because of that, it was showcased in the signings of Wharton, Bobby Brown III, Roseboom, Morig, Jones, because every single one of them believed that the persons they brought up are going to help us stop that run. And I want y'all to look at this because Dave Canales had this quote to say when he was talking about stopping the run. He says, "We wanted to make sure that we had the depth in the interior in order to be able to stop the run first and foremost." Excuse me, y'all. There we go. I had to take a little sip of water. Apologies. But he said you can affect the run with your interior play, setting edges from the outside linebacker play. You can affect the run from a safety standpoint who shows up and plays the C area with aggression. But at a minimum, it's finding guys who give great effort and lay their whole body out to make this play happen and work together, you know? So there's a lot of those things we have to look at. And I love that. And specifically, there was a segment on Trayvon Morig. Because they asked Aviro, what is he looking for in a safety? Dave Canales asked him, hey, what are you looking for in your two safeties? And Aviro said this, especially about Morig, because he felt Morig could fit what he's looking for. He said, Morig would certainly be an upgrade for us. In my opinion, a big investment in this position has got to be a guy who will do more than just sit back in deep coverage. You guys have to be really good tacklers. They have to be somebody you can send on the pressure, and they can go be back in protection, those type of things. And so we haven't had that the last couple years, and if you got somebody like Morig and said, hey, let's line them up at nickel, and they're doing more than just playing safety. Overall, I love this insight. Overall, I love this episode. Overall, it was great to see that the coaches were all able to understand, the people we're signing, we need to sign for stopping the run first and foremost. And I get it because a lot of us have said, hey, we need the coverage, we need another corner, we need things like that. And the team was just like, hey, we're gonna make sure we're signing on the run. But also, from what I saw in the meetings, Dave Canales, Dan Morgan, Brent Tillis, and everybody even said, if you have somebody who fits this mold, who fits what we're trying to do, bring them up. And if it's feasible, we'll try to make it happen. Every single person was in that room, and if they had somebody that fit the vision the team was trying to achieve, hey, they were open to hearing it out. And if it was feasible, they were definitely going to try and explore that option. So to me, that shows Carolina's in a good state and that everybody is in lockstep about what they want to happen for the team. Secondly, The Trayvon Moore segment, one thing I did like and I noticed, he was mic'd up for a segment, and they even highlighted he communicates very, very well and very, very often. I need that in my safeties. I love that in my safeties. And Morig was constantly talking, constantly chattering. Like when you, as a safety, you're the last line of defense, but you see everything from the top. And when you're communicating to the secondary, they have to be able to know what's going on. They make the call. They have to be able to know what's going on, and you have to be able to tell them. And if you're able to always communicate that, usually your secondary is always in lockstep, and you don't have an issue. So as a guy who didn't watch Trayvon Moore when he was with the Raiders, I like the fact that he is very communicative. He is very talkative, but also he can come down and make the hit, but also play in coverage. Love that. Flipping Bobby Brown makes me excited because this man already says, yo, we're about to make things different. This defensive line is about to be way different than years past, and I'm really excited to see that. But lastly, guys, Todd Wash, the defensive line coach, I'm going to be honest with y'all. I need more clips and videos of Todd Wash because that guy is so hilarious and he's so funny. If you don't know what I'm talking about, bro, go watch it. And the segment is closer towards the end of the video, but Todd Wash just seems very funny, very hilarious, and I need more clips of him. Overall, I'm excited for the D-line coming up this year. I think our front seven this year is going to be quite good. If not, we're not going to be trash. We're not going to be trash by any means. We're not going to be horrendous. We're not going to be garbage. And we're not going to truthfully just be just in the gutter. And last thing, when I talk about this episode, last thing I want to talk about. Apparently, when they were talking about Rico Dowdle, that signing, Dave Canales admitted he tried to get Rico Dowdle to sign in Tampa Bay, bro. Nani? Thank God that didn't happen. Dave, I understand it's part of your job, but thank God that did not happen. Because, man, I wouldn't be able to deal with it. But, guys, we're going to move on to the next subject because, as you see there in the title, it's like TMack cosign. What you mean by that, bro? And TMack has been given the blessing by a vet wide receiver. And the blessing comes from none other than our own Adam Thielen, a.k.a. the Godfather. So, Thielen was talking about T-Mac's progression so far here in the offseason and how he's been working with him. And he was doing an interview with Allison Kohler of Pro Football Network, just giving T-Mac his high praise. Because he said this, mentally, his natural ability to understand the game. I haven't been around too many guys that it just comes so easily to them this early. The playbook, the little intricacies, the game within the game. That has really stuck out with me. The same thing on the field. Everything just comes very natural to him. He doesn't have to force anything or do anything that's kind of out of his comfort zone because it just comes so naturally to him. That's going to help him have a lot of success. And on top of that, he's a great human being. So those things together, created together, usually lead to a long career. Hey, I love the cosign. And if there's a guy who knows a good receiver, it would be Adam Thielen. I love the cosign. I love the fact that Adam Thielen let it be known. And Adam Thielen strikes me as a guy who wouldn't sugarcoat anything. So if T-Mac was bad or T-Mac wasn't up to where he thought he would, he probably wouldn't have aired it out publicly, but he wouldn't have made these comments either. And honestly, I just hope these words come to fruition. I hope T-Mac has a long career. I hope his whole career is with Carolina. And I hope he becomes the star receiver that we hope and are praying for him to be. That's just me. And lastly, guys, saw this come up. And you know what? I thought this was kind of cool. So we all saw the ESPN AllCentury team. And we all saw how Julius Peppers made that. Well, now apparently there's a Panthers all-quarter century team that has been released, man.
NANI?
And so I want y'all to check this out. So Panthers all-quarter century team put out by Anthony Ruzzetti of the Panthers Wire. He built the best 53-man roster he could for the Panthers over the last 25 years. And honestly, he built it in response to ESPN's list. So here we go. At quarterback, you got Cam Newton and Jake Delhomme. No shocker. Running back, Christian McCaffrey, Jay Stewart, D'Angelo Williams. And then it's like O-lineman, Gross, Norwell, Khalil, Turner, Moten, Iguanu, Whale, Wharton, Hangartner, and Darrell Williams. All right, cool with that. Receiver, Steve Smith, Musa Muhammad, DJ Moore, Ted Ginn Jr., Adam Thielen, Kelvin Benjamin. All right. And then at tight end, you have Greg Olsen, Wesley Walls, and Jeremy Shockey. Sometimes I be forgetting we had Jeremy Shockey. Sometimes I do be forgetting we had Jeremy Shockey, bro. I ain't even going to lie to y'all. But he did great the year we had him, so it's kind of crazy. Then on the defensive side, at the linebacker position, we have Luke Kuechly, Thomas Davis, John Beeson, Dan Morgan, Shaq Thompson, and Frankie Louvu. D-line is Julius Peppers, Chris Jenkins, Kawan Short, Mike Rucker, Charles Johnson, Derek Brown, Brenton Bruckner, Brian Burns, and Mario Addison. At corner, Chris Gamble, Josh Norman, J.C. Horn, Ken Lucas, Captain Munnerlin. Then at safety, Mike Minner, Charles Godfrey, Kurt Coleman, Chris Harris, and Deion Grant. And specialists, Graham Gano, Todd Sauerbrunn, J.J. Jensen.
NANI?
That is your 53-man roster. And, bro, my only thing about this. One, I do know a lot of you probably had the same initial visceral reaction I had, like Gano over Casey. Apparently, and even not even apparently. Statistically, Gano was a better kicker. So, and they even talked about that in the article, so it makes sense why they went with Gano. But even though he had a 1,000-yard receiving year with us, bro, I'm sorry, get Kelvin Benjamin off this list.
Oh!
Get Kelvin Benjamin off this list. No. Anybody but Kelvin. Give me Devin Funchess. Shoot, give me Jalen Coker. Give me anybody else, bro. Give me Curtis Samuel, bro. Like, I'm not putting Devin Funchess on this list, bro. I'm not putting Kelvin Benjamin on this list, bro. I never wanted us to draft Kelvin Benjamin. I personally don't like Kelvin Benjamin. I know some of y'all are going to say, oh, well, bro, he had a 1,000-yard receiver and he was a 1,000-yard receiver and X, Y, and Z. I don't care. Like, the man only had a one season where he was above 50% catching. It was only at 53%. Right, bro. We get on Leaguette right now for being a 59% catch percentage. Come on now. Like, oh Lord. I don't get how Kelvin Benjamin made this list. I don't like it, and I'm not a fan of it. But hey, y'all let me know what y'all think, bro. When we look at this list, is there anybody y'all think they got wrong, they got missing? Like, obviously, whole lot of names, whole lot of stuff going on. But overall, I actually think they got most of the list right. I really do. I think they got most of the list right. I would just get Kelvin Benjamin out of here because that is not something I am going to co-sign on. But now, it is time for y'all favorite segment. Time for Panther Nation to speak their truth, man. I always love reading these comments. I really do. I really do love reading these comments. So, first comment comes from Justin CP. My man said, linebackers couldn't do anything because of our weak defensive front. Linebackers will be good this year because we're going to get more pressure on the opposing QB this season. And I agree, Justin. I agree because of the front. That's why it looks like our linebackers are as bad as they were. And I am like you. I think the linebackers are actually fine. I think we're okay in a good spot, especially with the revamped front front D line, I truly think we're going to be in a good spot. We're going to be okay. So, hey, shout out to you, man. I agree with that statement. Next comes from Sean Lowe F1J. Says Aviro is a top-ranked defensive coordinator if he had a solid group of players. Panthers have spent so many resources on the offensive side of the ball, and the defense has top talent traded away, Brian Burns, or hurt, J.C. Horn. When he had some talents, the defense was good, considering trash offense definitely. And we blocked him from head coaching jobs. Give that man his credit. If you want to blame the defense, you can look at the owner and the manager. Okay, I'm going to say this. So, Aviro's first year, bro. Aviro's first year with us. J.C. Horn was hurt, right? We had Brian Burns. We had Derek Brown. We had our front seven. But J.C. Horn was hurt. We had Dante Jackson. Because you brought this up, and so on and so forth. Our pass defense that year was number 1 in yards allowed and 6th in pass TDs allowed. Like that was our pass defense. Our rush defense was 23rd in yards allowed and 32nd in touchdowns allowed. Then his second year, our pass defense dropped to 20th in pass yards allowed and 32nd in pass TDs allowed. And not only that, our rush defense obviously was 32nd in rush yards allowed and 31st in rush TDs allowed. Bro, saying Aviro, if he has great talent, he's a good coach, is like, all right, so if I give you the all-star players, you look like a great coach. Even when you didn't have JC, who has been considered our best corner when everybody's healthy, you had a number 1 pass defense. He had a number 1 pass defense in Denver. That's really my issue, is even when you haven't had the greatest front line, the greatest front seven, your pass defense has always been pretty solid, at least middle of the road or upper echelon. Last year, our pass defense was bad. And then when you looked at some of the play calls at certain times, you're looking at Aviro like, bro, what are you seeing? What are you talking about? I'm not saying he's the worst coach of all time, but I'm also looking at it like we can't go through another year, especially this year if everybody's healthy, and the pass defense gets worse and the rush defense somehow stay at the bottom of the league. Like, we just can't. We just can't. If everybody's healthy, we made all these changes on defense, and the pass defense isn't at least 15, and the rush defense doesn't go up to at least like 20, 25, like, come on now. We can't be the bottom of the year. I'm not trying to be the bottom of the barrel in terms of rush defense 3 straight years and go from number 1 pass defense to the last defense in 3 years. You see what I'm saying? And this year you can't say, oh, they haven't spent resources on the team, because 2023, bro, we had to spend money on the resources. We had to go out and get resources because guess what? As you just said, our offense was trash. We had to. So it wasn't, we had to. Now, trading away Brian Burns was shocker to me. I'll give you that. I'll definitely give you that. But we had to go get some stuff to fix the offense. So, I see where you're kind of going there, but I also, he's a solid DC. But I will say this because I know somebody asked the question, is like, what does Aviro have to do to keep his job? Honestly, bro, just finish top 20 defense. I'm not even saying you have to be top 10. Just be a 20-21 defense, bro, and I think you can keep your job. I'm setting a lower standard. And then lastly, guys, last comment comes from Rodney Boyd, C1N. Man says offensive line has the hardest job to do. You ain't never lied, bro. The big boys up front have the hardest job to do, and every single time, you ain't never lied. Oh, and addressing the previous comment, by Sean. I do know he said, like, what defensive stars do we have? Last year, I guess, yeah, you could say we didn't have defensive stars for the first time, but still. And now you have Roseboom, Wharton, Bobby Brown, Derek Brown, flipping JC, Morig. So you have multiple stars now, or at least up-and-coming stars, because Morig and Roseboom are definitely were on the up-and-coming. In terms of stars, we know what Derek Brown does. We know what Wharton does, so on and so forth. But, guys, that's all I have for today's video. If you enjoyed this video, please make sure to like, share, subscribe, and hit that notification bell at the bottom because you know it helps. Well, you know it just helps everything. And, honestly, I love it when you guys leave your comments and stuff like that. This way, you can always be notified. 2, comment below and let me know. 1, what do you think about, in terms of the blueprint episode, what do you think about the team being so locked in on stopping the run, front office and everything, and it being showcased in their signings and anything y'all saw from that video, if you've seen it? 2, how do you feel that TMack is getting the blessing from Adam Thielen? And 3, what did you think about the Panthers all quarter century team? Let me know in the comment section below because at the end of the day, what do I know? I'm just a skinny brother with 2 tats. Peace. Mother to all you Panther Nation. Take care. Later days. And as always, keep pounding. I'll see you next.